Janet, people behind me have started to dance. They're celebrating the NDP's wins tonight.
The community school has become the command center for this operation. People who test positive for COVID-19 are being put in a new self-isolation center inside the school's gym. There are still tens of thousands of people without power. That includes many indigenous communities. You can see the trail of destruction behind me. These two 100-foot eucalyptus trees crashing down this morning, destroying these two garages, leaving a person trapped inside their home. In just a couple of hours, the city is going to be putting out blockades just like this one, closing off traffic here in Mission Valley as crews prepare for that rising river. We're getting a bird's eye view of the destruction left behind from this fire. And from up here, you can see just how close it came to the community.
If you're coming to the mountains, you're gonna wanna bring a sled because it's a lot harder on a surfboard. Austin Grabish, ABC 10 News.
The doors are closed at this cannabis store here in Winnipeg. It's just one of several retailers to shut down in this city in recent months and part of a larger trend across Canada. Here in the skywalk from Portage Place to the Bay, all of this retail space is sitting empty. It's so quiet in here, you can literally hear the sound of a pin drop.
Austin, what's happening?
Janet, the mood here has certainly changed from excitement to, I think, a great feeling of unease. People in the room are glued to the screen, and I think there's a big sense of disappointment because a lot of people were expecting a first-place win tonight.
Manitoba's health minister isn't ruling out even more measures to help reduce the strain on hospitals. But with 87% of Manitobans vaccinated with at least one dose, many are running out of patience. You know, the conditions have been really quite treacherous. The weather has been awful.
No justice! No peace! No justice!
What does today mean to you?
It means a lot. A lot of the things that my family has gone through even.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Austin Grabish. Imagine a mob of hundreds of teenagers swarming you at a party. That's what the RCMP found in East St. Paul this weekend. As CBC's Stephanie Cram shows us, the party got so out of hand, Mounties had to call in outside backup. Well, Holly, there are quite literally thousands of people out here now at the Manitoba Legislature. I can say I have never seen this many people here out of the many rallies I've been to here over the years in my career. Now, things inside the mall are much different. You'll notice there are hundreds of these decals placed on floors throughout the building. The idea is that you're always 2 meters apart from another shopper. If you're walking a little fast, then you will go on the left side. Walking a little slow, you go on the right. And if you have to turn, you have to go to one of these points to get around. The new rules won't force gyms or fitness studios to close. You'll still be able to go for a run or attend a class.
And Kimberly, the great thing about all this snow is that you can make a really nice snow angel.
Reporting live in Julian, Austin Grabish, ABC 10 News. There's still a lot of hot spots where we are here in Beaver Creek Provincial Park. This is one of 6 cottages that are completely gone. The province is reporting over 300 new cases of COVID-19 since Friday and 2 more deaths. Tonight, Manitoba's top doctor says he's concerned about the rate of virus transmission in the southern health region. So much fun, but there's snow on the way?
Yeah, there is. I guess the operative word there is more snow. I know how you love shoveling, Austin. So have you had enough of it yet?
I have, you know, especially when the snowplows were out on the weekend. They did the snow and then it's all in front of the driveway and you got a big pile. Fighting to breathe in a Johannesburg hospital bed. A dark sky above the Canadian Museum for Human Rights and a storm brewing inside. 5 women tell CBC News they've been sexually harassed by the same male colleague. The horror unfolding inside this large Thai shopping center. Carr was a close ally to Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. He says Canadians are better off because of his dedication to the country. It looks apocalyptic. Firefighters trying to stop the spread of an inferno. But despite all efforts, these fires are not slowing down.
I don't think he should have been allowed to teach, but...
This father wants to know how his son's high school teacher was allowed to return to work after the teacher was convicted in court of physically assaulting his son.
Like, I'm nothing.
Ahmed Jerbeilov survived torture. The 27-year-old is from Chechnya and survived an anti-gay purge in the Russian Republic. A sidewalk painted with the colors of the Pride flag, right next to the Canadian Museum for Human Rights. The public support for gay rights isn't what Gabrielle Awero saw inside.
Well, you know, you would get a meeting in the morning where you would be assigned what school you were going to deliver the tour to. and they would say, this is this and this school, and this school has requested that gay content is not included.
Awero was asked to shield gay content from some tour groups.
Oh, it was horrendous, because then I had to go sit with my gay friends on staff and tell them I'd done that. It was a horrific sense of guilt.
Awero says the request created an internal uproar. She says she raised the issue with her superiors.
When I complained about it, they said, well, you know, that's what we request, and we have to honor the requests from the schools because they pay us for those tours.
This current employee says the practice was done with groups of all ages, including high school students from Hutterite colonies. The staffer says in one case 3 years ago, an employee who is from the LGBT community was asked to physically block this same-sex marriage display. We're protecting the staff member's identity because they're scared speaking out could cost them their job.
There's a lot of upset that they would ask somebody to do that, and especially, you know, somebody who did identify that way.
The museum says it no longer asks staff to hide gay content. It confirms from 2015 until the middle of 2017, schools could ask for content about sexual orientation and gender identity to be excluded. The current employee says now some religious schools will block the display themselves, and says it's not just school groups who request certain content be omitted from a tour.
These special visitors could be diplomats, they could be donors.
This isn't the first time we've heard about an unhealthy culture here. The head of the museum didn't want to do an interview for the story, but we do know the museum hired a lawyer this week to investigate all allegations of discrimination. The lawyer's work has already begun, and she's expected to provide the museum's board with a report by the end of July. Austin Grabish, CBC News, Winnipeg.